Hello! This is a time of year where many fantasy teams are thinking about making a trade. And I wanted to remind you that on your league's website there are some links and pages that can be of great assistance in looking for the correct trading partner. The first thing you want to do is go to your league page. If you've lost that address, under Fantasy Baseball there is a list of leagues. If you click on that, it will give you a list of all the baseball leagues. You can then click on your own league, and that will go to the home page for your league. On that page there is a link under See Also that says Your League Rosters with Major League Stats. Click on that. At the very top of the top frame is what we call the trade bait. What that table shows is the players that had the most unused playing time last week in your league. By unused, we mean players that had more Major League playing time than they did Scoresheet playing time. It's separated out by pitchers and for hitters by each position. And if you look at that, the team is the team number, and the stats here are their season-long Major League stats. So for instance, Team 5 has Brendan Morrow. He pitched quite a bit in the Major Leagues last week, but was not used in Scoresheet. Along with the trade bait section, you can also see each team's roster. And those players on their roster are sorted by Major League playing time. So for instance, if you want to see my team, which is Team 5, these pitchers are sorted by Major League playing time. The dashes mean, for pitchers, that they did not pitch at all in the Major Leagues last week. For hitters, that means that they had 6 or less at-bats in the Major Leagues last week. So by looking at these rosters, you can get a pretty good idea of which teams have extra depth and which teams need help. For instance, if you look at Team 6, you can see that so far this week, his pitchers, he's only got 4 starting pitchers counting Oliver, that have pitched. If you click on a player's name, you will see his stats for the last 3 weeks in the Major Leagues, his stats so far this season, and his stats for the last 2 years. I think between looking at these rosters and seeing players' playing time and using the trade bait section, you can get a pretty good idea of what team would make a great fit for you as far as making a trade. Remember, when you're making a trade, the easiest trades to make are ones that help both teams. That way you can get your trading partner to agree. And by the way, the other thing not to forget is, even if you don't make a trade, simply talking trades with other owners in your league can be a very fun time. One other thing to consider, if you're in a keeper league, is whether you are playing for this year or if you've decided this just is not your season and you need to build for the future. Obviously, depending on which one of those situations you are in, that's going to greatly affect what kind of trades you want to make. I think if you're deciding that this is not your year, one thing that many teams that are in the playoff race can use are middle relievers that are having excellent years so far. After all, most teams don't protect middle relievers next year, so if you trade away a middle reliever or two that you might have, it's really not going to affect your team next year. But you might be able to get a draft pick or maybe a prospect from a team that's in the playoff race and could really use a pitcher or two that has a great ERA, even if he doesn't have very many innings. We hope you have a good time trading. I think talking trades is one of the best things about playing fantasy baseball. If you do make a trade, what you want to do is go back to your league's homepage, and then you want to click on Report a Trade. Click on that. You then want to suggest the team you are trading with, and then click the link, click here to report it. You then click on the players you are trading away, click on the players you are getting, and hit Submit. If you made a mistake and turned in a trade that had a wrong player, or as I did, turned in a trade that the other team didn't agree to, because I'm doing this as an example, you can delete your trade report by the Delete Undo This Trade button. You can also trade draft picks or trade for draft picks. There's boxes at the bottom of the player list that allow you to do that. You can trade away picks on your team or trade for picks from the other team. If your trading partner has already reported the trade, when you click on the Report a Trade link, a little box will come up showing you the trade and just asking you to confirm it, in which case you can easily do so. Lastly, if you make a trade involving players, please go to your lineup card and turn in an updated lineup. Thanks very much, and have a great time.